All right, y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer. I'm in Jackson County, Alabama, and I'm finally going to get some photos with this 105 on the Z6. Well, I'm going to go to Bridgeport, Alabama. This is just off the other side of Sand Mountain, and instead of going to Chattanooga, this gives me a new area to explore and to share with you guys. All right, well, I'm here in downtown Bridgeport. I think I am literally the only person here. There's a few cars driving through, but I don't see literally anybody else. So they've got some kind of something right over there. It looks like a piece of pipe. So I'm gonna go over and see what that is. Let's show you guys what's going on. But I've got the 105 F2 DC on the Z6, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I'm gonna try to get a few photos with it, so let's go further. I wondered what this was, but now I think I know. This is the water board. It's the utility building. I think they just got a piece of a water main out here as a kind of a reference. It did have something else with these two pylons because it's got rings where it had a chain or something. So it probably had a sign that hung up at some point. Probably said utilities, Bridgeport Utilities, but now it's just a piece of a water main. I think that's a water main. I don't think that's a sewer pipe. Pretty sure it's a water main. I don't know, kind of interesting. So, yeah, this town has a lot of history. Somewhere over here was the hardware store, and about 20 years ago, it exploded. I bet that's it. I bet it was right here, in this area here, because there's a frontage that's still left, and then there's a grassy lot behind it. I bet it was right there. But yeah, it blew up, I think because of a leaky gas main. It exploded one day. Found a shady spot. Whew. But what Bridgeport's claim to fame is it was a river port, and then it became a big railroad hub. And the rail's still real prevalent here. Matter of fact, if I spin this camera around, let's see if it blows out the frame. I'll probably have to turn down the exposure. That's kind of creepy. There was a woman walking across that yard, and in the time I spent filming those trains, she has literally vanished, and I don't know where she went. Weird. Okay. But the rail still comes through town. There's a train trestle right here with a bunch of rails crossing over it, and they're live rails. It's live trains. These aren't just like stored cars or anything. They're just parked for the weekend. But I've got a few photos. I do have a treat in my bag though, and I'm gonna mess around with it too, and that's the D810, because the 105 F2 DC is a screw drive focus lens. It's a AF lens or an AF-D. This one is a D, which provides distance information to the camera. The AF and the AF-D lenses are essentially identical, other than there's a little bit of data that the Ds provide somehow to the cameras that have the distance calibrating function. But yeah, this lens is manual focus on the Z6, so I'm gonna get a few more photos with it. Trying to find something of interest to photograph for you guys. I'm just trying to do something, trying to maybe do something like Eggleston, who does the Democratic Forest. You know, he just photographs basically anything that's photo worthy. So I'm looking. I was expecting there to be more people, but there's not a lot of people out today. I saw one person, and like I said, she vanished while I was filming those train cars. I don't know where she went. It's kind of weird, but she was out in the middle of that parking lot right there. I don't know, but okay, let's get some more photos. All right, okay, now what I'm gonna do is move this over to my Nikon D810 so that I can play with the autofocus. I'm starting to see some interesting buildings. So there's a Nick Carver building right there. I'll film that in just a second and share it with you. I done scouted it. I call it Nick Carver building because he likes to shoot these low roof buildings straight on with like a really wide, what do you call it? Wide format. Like he'll shoot something crazy like 6 by 17 or something like that. There we go. Still not an autofocus choice on this camera. Now I have it on a camera it's meant to be on. And currently I'm shooting at f2 and I'm going to shoot wide open. And mainly because that's the point of this lens. And I've shot a few kind of close up and a few at some distance to give you an idea. And I do have defocus control set to 2. And I'll be honest with you, the difference with defocus control is very subtle. You have to put prints side by side to even see the difference. What it does is it makes the background just a little bit smoother in the transition plane between one color spot and another. It just pushes that blur. Basically, it's like taking a butter knife and smoothing the peanut butter over into the jelly portion just a little more. Even though there's already a nice transition, if it didn't have the defocus control, this would still take amazing photos. But the defocus control just makes it take even better photos. So now, to shoot this camera in auto, I have to select autofocus on the camera, and I had to select auto on this ring. You got a push button on the lens here. You select manual or auto. Then when you go to auto and it locks in, you have to turn the lens. Let me go back to manual. See, the lens in manual allows me to drive it. Once I go to auto, I have to drive it till it locks, and now it's engaged with the camera, and the camera will focus it. You can hear it. See? It's a little bit noisy of a lens. It's not super bad. All these screwdriver focus lenses have a little bit of focus noise, so it's not a big deal. All right. I'm gonna put my backpack on and we're gonna go get some more photos. The symmetry of this building alone makes it noteworthy to take a photo of it. And it needs, like, on full frame, it needs about a 60 millimeter because I've ran this one out to 20, which is like a simulated 30 millimeter angle of view, and the 105 is too tight, and that one's a little bit too wide. So to get it over there across the street, see right over here, that sidewalk, to get onto that sidewalk and get a decent photo of it, I need about 50, 60 millimeters. So a 50 mil would work good here. But this building, I think at sunset, with some clouds, there needs to be some clouds in the sky. I kind of tend to agree with Nick on that. If you don't have any clouds, your sky is going to just look blah. So, you know, really, really stormy skies would look good on this building too, I believe. I believe that would look pretty cool. But yeah, I would like to photograph this building with some interesting sky. There's a building right up there. It looks like the old fire hall. Let's see what that looks like from here. Yeah, I can get close enough to get this power line out from under it. A lot of these homes up here have obvious Victorian roots or were built during the Victorian era, you know, turn of the 20th century, maybe even, you know, because they're probably all post-war homes because the Civil War happened here. If I had to guess, most of the homes that were in it at that point got burned down to destroy the infrastructure so that the Union couldn't follow them and use it behind them. So these were all probably reconstructions that happened after the war in the 1880s and 90s. You know, of course, some of them are more modern, but a lot of these two-story ones, you can tell, like that one's got multiple chimneys. That's pretty guaranteed it's Victorian era because they had fireplaces in every room to heat them throughout the winter, you had to have a fireplace in the bedroom and living room, you know, so you'd have multiple chimneys. Yeah, this is Victorian era because it's got a rounded front facade. Let's go over here and look at this. Both of these houses are. Hey, and there's a sidewalk here. I can get in this yard and shoot from the sidewalk. Let's see. Get a photo of this. This is pretty cool. Well, I seem to have stirred up the local dog population. They're all barking at me now. So, oh, there's one right there. These people in this town have an affinity for the pit bulldog. There is literally one in every yard nearly. I was kind of surprised that that's like, there's one dog so far that I've seen that's not a pit bulldog that was in a yard in a pen. The rest of them are all pit bulldogs. Every single one of them. I'm gonna get over here to where I can set the camera down and I'm gonna talk to you about this lens a little bit, give you some overview information about it. The door was open to this building, so I came in. I just want to see what's inside of this building. The stairs are super sketchy. People have been climbing them though. You can see some foot traffic on them. Oh yeah. How about we just go to the top of the stairs and stop? This is incredible. Somebody was camping in there. It was real ornate at one time. Let's see. How about we go the other way? There used to be a bathroom here. Someone's redecked it so it'll hold weight. Yeah. See, chimney right there. That's what that hole is in the wall. Yeah, that's not gonna keep rain out. It's a matter of time before this collapses. Somebody was sleeping up here. There's their pillow. Not sure what the plan was with that. Look at that. Super sketch. Closet. At one point it had sheetrock metal to it. Let's see what was in here. There's fireplace, and there's another chimney port right there. Look, it had a wood heater in front to start with or something. Light used to hang from a cord. Door frame right there. Door. This used to be a motel. These are hotel rooms. Dude, that floor drops away. I am not going in there. This section is reasonably secure. Look at this. Yeah, these are all just motel rooms. Huh. It's a matter of time, this is going to collapse. it don't like a whole lot. Gotta be careful, a bunch of these boards got nails on them. All right, get back down the staircase. I can feel the step treads moving. What we have here is you have a locking lens hood. You run this out and you unscrew it so many revolutions, I don't remember, 2.5 turns or something crazy like that. It locks. This is the only lens that I am aware of that has an integrated lens hood from Nikon that actually locks in location. You unscrew it like 1, 2, I'm pushing slightly in as I turn it. Once you unscrew it enough turns, it drops down. The defocus control ring has a push button click like a lot of their lenses from that period had that locks the ring. Push it and you go this way to go forward. There's an F for forward defocus control if you have foreground elements, and then you go to the rear for the rear defocus control elements. I'm not sure what the click past 5, 6 is. It might be F8. I would have to look in a book. But they tell you in the manuals not to go past your f-stop on the defocus control. It'll give unpleasant results, is what they say. And I also noticed that if you drive it from the rear to from 2 in the rear to 2 in the front, which is the minimum amount in both directions past neutral, you have to refocus the lens. It's moving an element or two in the front of the lens, and it will actually push your focus out. So remember that. You can't just like set focus and then drive it to a different spot. It won't be in focus anymore. You have to refocus every time. It has the standard focus distance scale window. It has a manual auto switch. It's a ring. Push the button, move it to manual. Now it's manual focus. And it releases that clutch engagement down to that screw shaft that drives it, and then when you put it back in auto, you can hit the button to focus, but I like to drive it till it drops into position, and then it's locked with the camera. Then it'll focus like normal. It has an external aperture ring, but if you lock it at the f/16 position, then the camera will control aperture. So just keep that in mind. I'm driving aperture with the camera on here. Other than that, it's just a beautiful piece of glass. Takes gorgeous photos. And as you can see, you can use it on the Z6. And what I'm doing on the Z6 is I manually focus and get rough focus with just looking into the viewfinder. And then there's 2 function buttons on the front of the Z6. The top function button I have assigned to 10x my focus magnification. So I'll hit that button after I get rough focus, and then I'll dial it in, and you can see it. You can see it crisp right up, like bricks just turn into nice clean black lines. And then I've got yellow focus highlights as well, and they'll appear instantly. So I don't remember what level I've got the highlight peaking set to, if it's medium, low, high, or whatever, but I think it's low. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, then you can get really good focus. But yeah, it's a beautiful lens, and it's really, really at home on these older DSLRs that have the focus motor in the body, like this D810. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer. I appreciate you watching. Until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.